Some women find themselves behind bars because they made mistakes. Others because they loved too fiercely, too blindly. Nia Johnson wasn't the type to roam the streets or live recklessly. She was cautious, dependable, the steady hand who kept her mother's household intact while her sister ran wild down the block. She worked double shifts just to keep the electricity on and never once asked for recognition or praise. But even the good girls have their limits. For Nia, that breaking point came with a name, Monty. DeMonte Ford had a charm that drowned out every alarm ringing in her chest. A neighborhood Romeo with quick hands and smooth lies. Yet with Nia, he seemed different, or at least she believed he was. Their relationship began as friendship, simple, easy laughs over cheap fries and late-night drives. By the time they hit 21, they were inseparable. By 24, Nia was sitting in a courtroom, facing charges that weren't really hers. Because love makes fools of even the smartest among us. And loyalty? Loyalty has a way of leading you blindly into fires set by others. Nia thought she'd be out in 3 years, maybe 5. But when the gavel fell, the sentence was far harsher. 13 years, a lifetime behind bars. Still, she held on to hope. She stayed silent, refusing to shed tears or cast blame. She told herself, he's waiting for me. He loves me. He has to. But 13 years is a long time. Long enough for some to move on, build new lives, rewrite the story as if you were never part of it. When Nia finally walked out those prison gates, she didn't just return to a changed world. She stepped into a betrayal that had been quietly festering behind her back like mold in a sealed room. The kind of betrayal that doesn't just shatter your heart, it poisons your very soul. She didn't yell, didn't fight, didn't break down in tears. Instead, she remembered. Because some debts aren't settled in courtrooms. Some heartbreaks don't scream, they scheme. And when Nia moved, she moved silently and deliberately, like someone with nothing left to lose and nothing left to protect. Stick around, because what happened next wasn't loud or messy, but it was unforgettable. If you're drawn to true stories that cut deep, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and stay close. This is only the beginning. Charlotte, North Carolina. Not the polished downtown with glass towers and upscale boutiques, but the other side. The sideline with chain-link fences, corner stores with dusty windows, and mothers who pray more than they sleep. This is where Nia Johnson grew up, the eldest of 3, her mother's right hand. The quiet girl who always followed the rules, until the day she didn't. By age 8, Nia could cook a full meal, braid her baby sister's hair, and handle a food stamp card with the precision of a seasoned pro. Life wasn't soft for her, but Nia was solid, sharp, kind, and strong. The kind of girl teachers admired, neighbors trusted, and her mother leaned on like a cane. She stayed out of trouble, not out of fear, but because she was too busy holding everything together. Then came Monty. DeMonte Ford, better known around the block simply as Monty, with a grin that could melt ice and eyes that seemed to say, you know better, but here we are. He was the kind of man you saw before you heard. Tall, lean, clean-cut, but dangerous underneath. Monty had been cycling in and out of juvenile detention since he was 15. But his voice? Smooth as butter on toast. That boy could talk a nun out of her last prayer. Nia first met him one summer at a cookout. She spotted him leaning casually against a blue Crown Victoria, sipping from a red cup, laughing like life owed him something sweet. They weren't supposed to click, but somehow they did, quickly and effortlessly. What began as jokes soon turned into rides around the city and long talks at 2 a.m. about dreams that felt too big for their block. He was wild. She was calm. Yet against all odds, they found a strange kind of peace in each other. Monty told her she made him want more. He said he was tired of dodging cops, tired of the game. You, he said, you're different. You make me feel like I could be better. And Nia believed him. By the time they were 21, they were living together in a cramped one-bedroom apartment with a busted heater and a mattress on the floor. But they were happy, or at least Nia was. She worked her days at the clinic, while Monty picked up shifts here and there, always claiming he was staying clean. He still had friends on the streets, still took calls that made Nia's stomach twist into knots. But every time she asked, he'd simply kiss her on the forehead and say, "I got us, baby. Trust me." And she did. Every single time. Then there was Camera, Nia's baby sister. If Nia was calm, Camera was a storm, loud, bold, always dressed like she had somewhere better to be. Where Nia spent her teenage years babysitting and folding clothes, Camera was sneaking out windows and coming home with glitter still sparkling on her cheekbones. They loved each other, yes, but beneath the surface there was a tension neither would admit. Camera grew up watching Nia do everything right and still struggle. She hated it, resented it, and though she never said it out loud, Camera wanted what Nia had. Not the chores, not the hard work, but the attention, the admiration, the power of being the good one. When Nia brought Monty around, Camera was intrigued. She laughed too hard at his jokes, asked too many questions, and always found a reason to be in the room when he was near. Nia noticed, but she brushed it off. She trusted Camera. She trusted Monty. They were family, and family doesn't cross lines, right? Still, sometimes Nia caught a look, a sideways glance from Camera when she thought no one was watching. Monty never said a word. He just played it cool. But something about the way he acted around Camera, too polite, too distant, made Nia's gut twist in discomfort. She told herself she was imagining things, that her own insecurities were stirring up unnecessary drama. After all, Monty loved her. He said it every night and every morning. Called her wifey before anyone else did. But still, something whispered inside her, "Pay attention." She didn't listen. Love makes you blind. And loyalty? Loyalty makes you stupid. Nia's world wasn't perfect, but it was hers. A small apartment, a man she loved, a sister she trusted. She had her routine, her dreams, her place in the world. What she didn't see was that the foundation beneath her feet was already cracking, and soon everything she built would come crashing down. Charlotte nights were changing. The streets felt heavier. The energy around Monty was heavier still. At 24, Nia started to notice the signs. Monty's late nights stretched longer, his phone calls became shorter, conversations thinner. He had new sneakers every other week, came home with crisp bills folded tight in his back pocket. Money that didn't want to be traced. One day, Nia asked, just once, "Where's all this coming from, Monty?" He smiled, kissed her forehead, and said, "I've been helping my boy flip cars. Nothing major. Easy money, baby. I got us." She didn't press further. She wanted to believe, needed to believe, because if Monty was lying, then the life she was building had no foundation. And Nia Johnson wasn't the type to build on sand. But sometimes a truce comes knocking, whether you're ready or not. It was just after midnight. Nia was folding laundry, the soft hum of the television filling the quiet room. Monty was supposed to be home by now, but she had a feeling, a chill that started deep in her chest and slid slowly down her spine like ice water. Then came a knock. Boom, boom, boom. Police. Open up. Before she could even react, the door crashed inward as if hit by a freight train. Blinding flashlights cut through the dark. Guns pointed, voices shouting. A storm of chaos erupted. They threw Nia to the floor, face down. She could hear Monty somewhere behind her, yelling, his voice breaking, raw and unlike the usual smooth confidence she knew. The officers tore through the apartment with purpose, like they already knew exactly what they were after. And they found it quickly. Behind the coats in the back closet, 2 bricks of cocaine. Under the bed, stacks of cash, bundled neatly and piled high. On the kitchen table, a scale and plastic baggies. Monty stood pale, silent, defeated before the storm even fully hit. Then, just before they separated them, they gave Monty a brief moment alone with Nia. Quick and private. No officers in the room, just the 2 of them. Her wrists were cuffed, heart pounding like a war drum. Monty sat across from her, acting like nothing had changed, still wearing that chain, still clutching his charm like it could save him. "Baby, listen. Listen to me," he whispered, leaning in close. "This ain't what it looks like. I didn't know they were coming. I didn't think it was going to go down like that." Nia said nothing. Her expression said it all. "Look," Monty continued, "they caught you, not me. That means we still got a chance. You can fix this for us. Her eyebrows twitched. You clean, Nia. No record. First offense. They'll go easy on you. 3 years, maybe 5. You hold it down in there, and I'll hold it down out here. I swear on everything I love. I'll be waiting when you get out. He took her cuffed hands in his, like making a vow. Please, you got the power to save us. Don't let all this fall apart. Nia sat still, silent, but inside, she was already breaking. She nodded once. Because love makes you blind. And loyalty? Loyalty will have you walking straight into a fire while wearing perfume. The next morning, they booked her. Ink on her fingers, a mugshot, a chain around her waist, cuffs on her ankles, like she was dangerous. Like she hadn't just sacrificed herself for a man who couldn't even hold her hand in public a day ago. They asked her to talk. She said it all belonged to her, that Monty knew nothing. She even cried in front of the officers, insisting she was only trying to make quick cash because love had rules. And Nia always followed them. Even in court, she stood tall and alone. The prosecutor laid it all out: possession, intent to distribute, conspiracy. Monty was nowhere to be found. No letters, no visits, no word. Camera sat in the back row, sunglasses on, legs crossed, lips pressed tight. Their mother cried through the entire trial. But the judge didn't flinch. 13 years, Miss Johnson. Just like that. Cold. Final. Not 3, not 5. 13. When they released her, shackled and broken, Nia didn't cry. She didn't look back. She'd always been the strong one, the quiet one, the one who carried everything without breaking. But now, she was carrying time, years of silence. Her cell was 6 feet wide, with 2 cold concrete walls, 1 toilet, 1 bunk, and time. Endless, heavy time that never let up. At first, Nia tried to stay grounded. She kept to herself, ate her meals quietly, made her bed, didn't cry on that first night, though her chest ached as if something had been carved out with a dull spoon. Monty was the first to write. Sweet letters, soft promises. I miss you, girl. I'm holding it down out here. As soon as you come home, we start over. You're a queen for this. I'll never forget it. She read those notes like scripture, folding them until the creases wore thin. Every letter was a thread she clung to, holding her together, keeping her from unraveling in the dark nights before lights out. Camera wrote 2 small, sugary notes that seemed almost too cheerful for the rough prison paper. Hang in there, sis. Monty's doing okay. I'm keeping him focused. You be proud. At first, Nia smiled reading those words. That was her baby sister. Wild, yes, but still family. Still blood. Still hers. Time passed fast. Nia learned to navigate this harsh new world, keeping her eyes straight ahead. She never got too friendly, but never too cold either. She became the woman who didn't talk much, but when she did, people listened. She worked in the laundry room, folding sheets and pressing uniforms. Later, she found a place in the prison library, her favorite corner of that frozen world. She read everything she could find, even writing letters to herself and prayers to God. Though, some days, her faith felt like a dying ember struggling against the cold. By the end of year 2, Monty's letters came less often. Shorter, more distracted, fewer, I love yous, and more, I've been busy. Nia told herself it was the stress, the bills, the outside world creeping in. By year 3, the letters stopped altogether. Camera's notes still trickled in. Friendly, chirpy, but something in the tone fell off, something Nia couldn't quite place. Then came year 4. It began like any other day: breakfast, roll call, library shift. Then, a correctional officer tapped her shoulder and handed her a letter. No return address, no name, just her own, in unfamiliar handwriting. Nia opened it cautiously on her bunk. No words inside, just a photograph. Monty in a tuxedo, camera in white. Married. Nia blinked. Once. Twice. Again. Her hands trembled, breath caught tight in her throat. The photo fell in her lap like a lie weighing 1,000 pounds. She sat silent, still for a full minute. Then she stood and walked to the phone, calling the one cousin she still trusted. Did they really? She asked. The cousin didn't hesitate. Yeah, Nia. They did. Been together a while now. Got a house out in Mint Hill. I was going to tell you, but I didn't know how. Nia hung up and screamed. She screamed until her throat cracked raw, until guards came rushing in. She punched the phone receiver off the hook, sending it crashing to the floor. They pulled her away, dragged her back to her cell, slammed the door hard behind her. She curled up on the edge of her bunk, arms wrapped tight around herself, the only thing she could trust now. She didn't cry. Tears, she decided, were for people who still had something left to lose. The betrayal didn't hit like a tidal wave. It settled in slowly, like smoke in her lungs, like poison in her blood. Monty, her Monty, hadn't just left her. He'd replaced her with her own sister. The same sister she'd protected all those years. The one she used to sneak snacks to after dinner. The one she carried when scraped knees bled. The one who wrote, "I got you, sis," in every letter. And when the lights went out that night, Nia didn't sleep. She thought. She remembered. Not just the pain, not just Monty, but everything. The way he begged that night, "Do this for us." The way Camera looked at him back then, too long, too soft. The signs she ignored. The way the room smelled during the raid. The way he didn't fight when they cuffed her. The way he never showed up in court. The way he vanished before the ink on her sentence had even dried. From that night on, Nia changed. Something inside her spirit hardened. She still went to work. Still made her bed. But she stopped waiting for letters. Stopped hoping for names on the visitor log. She was done hoping. Done hurting. Done pretending love would save her. Because if prison taught her one thing, it was this: some people will let you drown just so they don't have to get wet. She remembered the day she married Monty, in secret, without telling anyone. Quietly, one Tuesday morning, at the courthouse. No rings, no family, just a shaky signature, a witness, and a kiss that felt more real than anything they'd ever shared. It was her idea. Monty was hesitant, nervous about the paperwork, but Nia wanted to lock in their love, give it something solid, something legal. She believed marriage would protect them. She thought it would make everything stronger. Little did she know, she was signing her name on a contract with a man who would leave her before the ink had time to fade. Camera said she never meant for it to happen. That's what she told herself. That's what she told anyone who asked. She didn't plan to fall for her sister's man. Didn't mean to be the one he leaned on. But after Nia was sentenced, Camera began checking on Monty more and more. At first, it was innocent. "You need anything? You holding up okay? She's strong. You know that, right?" She'd sit with him on the couch, bring him food. Sometimes they didn't talk, just stare at the wall. Grief has a way of pulling people together like magnets. And Monty, he hated being alone. Camera filled the silence. Then the silence grew warm. And warm turned physical. By the end of the first year, she'd slept over 3 nights in a row. By the second year, she'd moved in. Monty filed for divorce from Nia during her 4th year inside. Didn't tell her in person. Didn't even send a letter. He had the papers delivered through her counselor. No explanation, no apology, just boxes checked and lines signed. Nia didn't fight it. She signed quietly. One more piece of herself disappearing without a sound. 2 years after Camera and Monty married, they bought a home in Mint Hill. 2 stories, big backyard porch swing. Monty opened a tire shop just off the highway. Clean name, clean license, clean front, but he still kept the gun in the glove box, just in case. Because Monty might have swapped his hustle for a business, but the streets never really let go. He still walked like someone might be following him. Still checked the rearview mirror twice. Camera, meanwhile, was thriving. Real estate license, hair always laid, nails sharp. She learned to talk like money, smile like opportunity. People loved her. Clients trusted her. But at night, when the house got quiet and the lights were off, Camera would sit in the dark with a glass of wine and a 1,000-yard stare. Because guilt doesn't scream. It whispers all the time. They had 3 kids in 5 years. First a boy, then 2 girls. Photos everywhere. Matching outfits, birthday balloons, baby teeth tucked in envelopes. They avoided Nia's name like it was cursed. Never said it around the kids. When the oldest asked once, "Who's Aunt Nia?" Camera changed the subject. Monty left the room. But secrets don't stay buried forever, especially not when they're planted in blood. 13 years. That's how long it had been since Nia Johnson had felt the sun on her face without a fence in the way. She was 37 now, no longer the girl who went down for love. She stepped out of those prison gates with nothing but a government-issued duffel bag and a heart full of quiet fire. No one was there to pick her up. Monty wasn't there. Camera wasn't there. Even her mama, the one who would have been first to wrap her arms around her, was gone. Had passed 5 years earlier. No visit. No call. No one from the family even bothered to let Nia know until months after the funeral. The only one who still cared was Aunt Vi. Vi was her mama's older sister, tough as nails. Always had a headscarf on and a Bible somewhere nearby. She picked Nia up from the halfway house in an old Ford that smelled like menthols and gospel. "You look thin," Vi said, not taking her eyes off the road. "Food ain't been good in there," Nia replied, her voice flat. They didn't say much more. Didn't need to. Aunt Vi took her in without questions. Gave her the back room, a set of towels, and a warm meal like it was nothing. "You don't owe nobody an explanation, baby, but you do owe yourself peace." Nia nodded quietly. That was the only promise she was willing to make, to herself. 2 weeks later, she found a job cleaning office buildings downtown after hours. Mop bucket, gloves, disinfectant spray, quiet work, simple work. Those first few weeks, she moved slow, didn't talk much, didn't ask about Monty or camera. Didn't need to. The silence said everything. One night after dinner, Aunt Vi sat across from her with a plate of cornbread and a look she couldn't quite read. "You know they're married now," she said. Nia looked down at her tea. "I know. 3 kids. Big house out in Mint Hill. He's got a tire shop now. She's doing real estate. You mad?" Nia shrugged. "I ain't got the energy to be mad. I just remember." Aunt Vi stared at her, trying to read what was buried deep inside. "You sure?" "I'm sure." But she wasn't. Not really. She wasn't sure if she was mad or calm. All she knew was something inside her had shifted. It wasn't fire. Not yet, but it was smoke. And smoke always means something's burning. 2 days later, Nia saw Camera. Downtown, on her break, Camera was sitting on the steps of an old law office, sipping water. Stepping out of a white SUV, heels too high, a dress too tight, laughing into her phone. Hair done, face beat, gold hoops catching the sunlight. For a moment, Nia didn't breathe. She stood frozen, watching her little sister float by like she hadn't left wreckage behind. Camera didn't see her. Nia followed quietly, carefully. She didn't even know why. She just moved. Camera pulled into a cul-de-sac lined with trimmed lawns and fresh paint. House number 218, 2-car garage, blue shutters, porch swing. Nia stopped at the corner, watching. A little girl ran out the front door barefoot, laughing, holding one of the cupcakes. Another child followed behind her. Then Monty, still tall, still smooth, same walk, same swagger. Only now he had a gold watch and a receding hairline. He smiled, kissed Camera on the cheek like it was normal, like he hadn't once promised forever to the woman standing in the shadows. Camera leaned into him, her hand resting on his chest like she owned him. Then she turned, walked back toward the bus stop, didn't cry, didn't shake, just remembered. Every promise, every letter, every lie. The next day, she didn't go to work. She cleaned the kitchen, swept the porch, made sweet tea for Aunt Vi like nothing had changed. But inside, something had clicked into place. Now she had seen it with her own eyes. Not a rumor, not a photo. Real Monty's new life. Camera's victory. And Nia? Nia was the ghost they never expected to see again. Monty forgot. He forgot there are some people you don't cross. Some debts you can't outrun. 15 years earlier, long before the wedding rings, the tire shop, the smiling family portraits, and Camera's business cards, Monty burned someone. Lamar. Big Ree. Tally. East Side. Heavy. A man who moved quiet but struck hard. People felt it for years. Back then, Monty ran with Ree's crew. Not officially, but close enough. He handled drops, collected payments, skimmed a little off the top, figured no one would notice. But Ree noticed. Always did. Monty disappeared right before things got hot. Left town for a few weeks. Then Ree got hit with a weapons charge and went away. Word on the street was Monty tipped the scales just enough to stay free. Ree never forgot that. And neither did Nia. She never said a word to anyone, not even Aunt Vi. She just made a call one night. She spoke with calm precision, like she was ordering groceries. Used a burner phone. Went by the name Kia. Her language was sharp, the kind you pick up after spending time around men who don't forgive easily. He's back. Got money now, a family, tires, real estate. Clean on paper, but you know better. She paused. If you're still looking for him. She didn't say Monty's name. Didn't have to. The line went silent. Then, the voice on the other end let out a low hum. Appreciate it. Click. 2 weeks later, on a Thursday morning, Monty was opening his tire shop like any other day. Coffee in one hand, keys in the other. He didn't see it coming. 6 shots. 2 to the chest, 2 to the stomach, 1 to the shoulder, 1 clean through the face. Eastside signature. Quick, quiet, precise. By the time the ambulance arrived, Monty was already gone, laid out on the pavement in front of his own shop, his name shining above the door. Police said it looked like a robbery. Maybe gang-related. Maybe a business deal gone wrong. No leads. No witnesses. No suspects. Just another man with a past who finally ran out of luck. Camera screamed at the funeral, as if her chest was caving in. She clutched her babies like they were everything she had left, collapsing next to the casket in a black dress, hands shaking. People cried. The preacher spoke. But at the very back of the church, sitting alone in the last pew was Nia. Black shades on, hair pulled back. Still, she didn't cry, didn't blink, didn't shift once during the entire service. She sat like a shadow that had finally caught up with the light. No one noticed her. No one dared to look long enough. After the burial, Nia left, quiet, no goodbyes. Monty had taken her freedom. Camera had taken her trust. But Nia had taken something too. And in her own way, she finally felt free. The next morning, Nia left town. No tears, no farewells, no trace. She caught a Greyhound to Atlanta, carrying a duffel bag and a new name stitched into her ID. No one asked questions. She didn't offer answers. Now, she lives in a small apartment on the quiet side of the city. No photos on the walls. Just books, plants, and jazz humming low from an old speaker in the kitchen. She keeps to herself. Pays in cash. Sleeps with the windows cracked just enough to feel the air move. She's not angry. Not bitter. She's done. Some debts, she says, don't get paid in court. They get paid in blood. If you were Nia, would you hold your peace or make that call? Drop your thoughts below. And if you love stories that go where forgiveness won't, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay with us. Because the next story might just be darker than this.